Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna kick my feet up, then stare at the fan. Turn the TV on, throw my hand anything. I just want. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear I'm not doing anything. Nothing at all. Woohoo, woohoo, nothing at all. Woohoo, woohoo, nothing at all. If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Oh, find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3. I'll be there, and I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Oh, find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends supposed to do. Count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do. Oh yeah. Ooh, ooh. You can count on me 'cause I can count on you.
May you have auspiciousness and causes of success. May you have the confidence to always do your best. May you take no effort in your being generous, sharing what you can, nothing more, nothing less. May you know the meaning of the word happiness. May you always lead from the beating in your chest. May you be treated like an esteemed guest. May you get to rest, may you catch your breath. May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa. May the road less paved be the road that you follow. Whoa. Well, here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. You don't need money, got free pass. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. May you be as fascinating as a slap bracelet. May you keep the chaos and the clutter off your desk. May you have unquestionable health and less stress. Having no possessions, no immeasurable wealth. May you get a gold star on your next test. May your educated guesses always be correct. And may you win prizes shining like diamonds. May you really own it each moment to the next. May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa. May the road less paved be the road that you follow. Whoa. Well, here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. You don't need money, got free pass. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. Oh, I want you to have it all. All you can imagine. Oh, no matter what your path is, if you believe it, then anything can happen. Go, go, go. Raise your glasses. Go, go, go. You can have it all. I told you, here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. You don't need money, got free pass. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. Here's to you always making me laugh. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all. We go hide away in daylight. We go undercover, wait out the sun. Got a secret side in plain sight. Where the streets are empty, that's where we run. Everyday people do everyday things, but I can't be one of them. I know you hear me now. We are a different kind. We can do anything. We could be heroes.
Hi, I'm Paul Kim. I'm the Chief Technology Officer and Associate Dean at the Graduate School of Education at Stanford University. When I educate students, I would always emphasize the goal of knowing yourself and knowing others, and that would require a certain set of mindsets and attitudes. I call this global leaders who understand what the grand challenges may be for this world, and knowing the dire needs that others might have. Our programs are designed to address the challenges of today and also the challenges of tomorrow. FlyingCape has a vast array of network with education leaders and education service in Singapore and in many other countries. The team focuses on understanding the learners and helping them find their best talent, and at the same time help more students to become better and successful learners for life.
The world is rapidly advancing, and with its continuous development, technology has become an integral part of our lives. So I ask you, is your child prepared for a knowledge-based future? Well, Graphite Academy has got your back. Innovation, knowledge, and critical thinking is what our academy offers. Founded in 2016 to prepare students for a highly digitalized future, we have conducted programs in over 120 different schools and have taught more than 10,000 students to date. Our quality coding curriculum is designed to impart analytical and critical thinking. Its challenging nature aids students in thinking beyond the prescribed course, preparing them to solve complicated problems. This pedagogy-focused curriculum is delivered to our students with a handful of specialists in coding and passionate faculty. The strategy of small-sized classes adds to a conducive learning environment where students can polish their thinking skills. Progressive curriculum, active parent engagement, extensive exposure to multiple platforms ensures that your child is equipped with ample amount of skill that could be advantageous for them in the workplace tomorrow. Our rigorous teaching system ensures that our faculty is well trained to provide educational and enjoyable lessons. We hold the pride of yielding knowledgeable, creative, and critical minds. So what are you waiting for? Get in touch with us.
Scientific literacy is vital to preparing the workforce of tomorrow to meet the ever-increasing demands for expertise in science and innovation. Science A to Z is an award-winning K-6 product that delivers thousands of high-quality, affordable resources for students and teachers. Students increase their scientific literacy while also developing key reading skills. This blended approach to science and reading instruction empowers teachers with the tools they need to teach both subjects at once. Science A to Z units provide breadth and depth of science content, plus countless opportunities for literacy practice, including writing, speaking, and listening. With digital e-resources that can also be printed and projected, teachers can customize instruction for one-to-one, small group, and whole class environments, fostering independent practice and peer collaboration. Many reading materials are available at multiple reading levels to support differentiated instruction. Units are organized into grade spans within each scientific domain, with dozens of resources offered in each unit. Multi-level nonfiction books provide an introduction to core science concepts and the specialized vocabulary of science. Each level of the book is accompanied by a corresponding quiz. Hands-on process activities engage students in science experiments and investigations. Investigation packs foster close reading as students demonstrate the 21st century skills of collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. While the high-interest focus books were designed with the next-generation science standards in mind, including a book quiz and an open-ended challenge that engages students in key science and engineering practices. Each focus book and quiz for grades K through 4 are also available in Spanish for ELL and dual language learners. There's a collection of science videos with accompanying discussion questions, helping students learn about science content from a variety of media sources. Finally, with project-based learning packs, students participate in an open-ended, team-based science or engineering project. All Science A to Z resources are created to help students satisfy standards in both science and language arts. In addition, Science A to Z provides storylines designed to help teachers address all 3 dimensions of the next generation science standards within one coherent sequence of lessons. Science A to Z organizes teacher lesson plans along with a lesson-by-lesson sequence of resources to help explore disciplinary core ideas and cross-cutting concepts and engage in science and engineering practices for an integrated, 3-dimensional learning experience. Individual lesson and storyline lesson plans are available in printable and digital formats. Using the Kids A to Z e-learning platform, students can improve their scientific literacy and reading skills anytime, anywhere. Students have access to their customized unit assignment, which is full of engaging interactive e-resources, as well as an independent science library, which fuels their natural curiosity about science topics. Students access their e-resources in an interactive, kid-friendly environment where they can listen to the content while viewing highlighted words and phrases, read the book at their own pace, record themselves reading aloud, use an assortment of interactive tools and features that promote close reading and critical thinking, and take a corresponding e-quiz to evaluate scientific and reading comprehension. Science A to Z also makes it easy for you to manage student online progress using the Kids A to Z portal. You can easily monitor each student's progress through the assigned unit, the number of resources read and viewed, quiz scores, and performance on reading comprehension skills. You can listen to the students' practice recordings and assess their constructed response quiz items. Every student is curious about the world around them. Science A to Z fosters that curiosity and helps you light the spark that can lead to a lifetime of learning about science. By getting kids excited about STEM subjects from an early age and by helping them develop the reading and science skills they'll need, you can prepare children for success in school and to fill important roles in the careers of tomorrow. Start using Science A to Z in your classroom today.
When curiosity takes hold and imagination takes over, where will you find your answers? What will you do when inspiration strikes? Come in close and listen closer. Go beyond the constructs of today and invent your own tomorrow. So, what will you create?
Today, coding is an essential skill we need to teach our children, just like math, science, or English. Getting kids to engage with coding is in everybody's interest. CodeMonkey, an award-winning online game, is the only platform that gets kids as young as 8 to write real code through a fun, engaging game.
זה משחק שממש מלמד ילדים בכיתה ב' וג' לכתוב קוד. זה דבר בלתי נתפס, אבל זה קורה, זה אמיתי.
CodeMonkey partnered with CET, Israel's largest publisher, to offer the CodeMonkey Coding Olympics, chosen by the Ministry of Education for a nationwide rollout.
1,700 schools participated daily for 3 months. CodeMonkey's special characteristics made it self-driven and easy for the schools to implement. The top-performing schools sent teams to train in a boot camp and then to compete in the finals mega event.
The results of the CodeMonkey Coding Olympics were beyond any expectations.
Last week, we completed 253,000 kids in Israel played CodeMonkey and learned code.
Thousands of children fell in love with coding, and a whole new coding movement was formed across the nation.
אני למדתי הרבה מאוד דברים חדשים, כי זה מלמד לתכנת ממש את הבסיס של הבסיס.
CodeMonkey is now expanding globally, applying the unique know-how demonstrated in the Olympics into further countries.
By introducing coding to your students, you would be opening up a new and exciting world of opportunities for them today, and there will be no limits to where they can be tomorrow.
כל שלב אני הצלחתי ויצא לי שמחה בלב. הייתי רוצה גם ששנה הבאה יהיה CodeMonkey.
CodeMonkey, write code, catch bananas, save the world.
Plus is a dynamic blended learning platform that combines teacher-led instruction, independent practice, formative assessment, and data-driven reporting to improve the reading skills of every student at every level. By providing high-quality instructional tools with high-interest leveled books in multiple formats, Raz Plus strengthens the connection between what is being taught and what students are practicing on their own. Teachers can easily assign digital resources to reinforce instruction that students can access online anytime, anywhere. Through our Kids A to Z e-learning portal, students can access content assigned by their teacher or read designated leveled books on their own using a computer or mobile device. Every leveled book on Raz Plus utilizes our best-in-class leveling system to ensure a developmentally appropriate reading experience for your students. All online reading activity and assessment results are tracked and reported back to the teacher through online, data-driven reports, making it easy to see what's working and inform future instruction. With Raz Plus, it's never been easier to combine effective whole class, small group, and one-to-one learning with engaging, developmentally appropriate reading practice. Teachers and students both have all the resources they need, all in one place. Great job this week! Your reading's really improved. Start your free 2-week trial today to see how Raz Plus takes students' reading to the next level.
Hi, I'm Paul Kim. I'm the Chief Technology Officer and Associate Dean at the Graduate School of Education at Stanford University. When I educate students, I would always emphasize the goal of knowing yourself and knowing others, and that would require a certain set of mindsets and attitudes. I call this global leaders who understand what the grand challenges may be for this world, and knowing the dire needs that others might have. Our programs are designed to address the challenges of today and also the challenges of tomorrow. FlyingCape has a vast array of network with education leaders and education service in Singapore and in many other countries. The team focuses on understanding the learners and helping them find their best talent, and at the same time help more students to become better and successful learners for life.
The world is rapidly advancing, and with its continuous development, technology has become an integral part of our lives. So I ask you, is your child prepared for a knowledge-based future? Well, Graphite Academy has got your back. Innovation, knowledge, and critical thinking is what our academy offers. Founded in 2016 to prepare students for a highly digitalized future, we have conducted programs in over 120 different schools and have taught more than 10,000 students to date. Our quality coding curriculum is designed to impart analytical and critical thinking. Its challenging nature aids students in thinking beyond the prescribed course, preparing them to solve complicated problems. This pedagogy-focused curriculum is delivered to our students with a handful of specialists in coding and passionate faculty. The strategy of small-sized classes adds to a conducive learning environment where students can polish their thinking skills. Progressive curriculum, active parent engagement, Extensive exposure to multiple platforms ensures that your child is equipped with ample amount of skill that could be advantageous for them in the workplace tomorrow. Our rigorous teaching system ensures that our faculty is well trained to provide educational and enjoyable lessons. We hold the pride of yielding knowledgeable, creative, and critical minds. So what are you waiting for? Get in touch with us.
All right, students, welcome back to day 4 of Coding Olympics 2021. Now, today is day 4. Students, are you all excited to finish the last day of training? If you're excited, send a yes to the chat so we are ready to go, all right? So send a yes, let us know you're excited. Today is the last day, tomorrow is the start of competition, so do your best to learn as much as you can, all right? So we're about to start in a while, so if you're excited, send a yes to the comments. before we start the entire competition, all right? Yeah, I see yes, I see yes, I see yes. Very good. All right, welcome back to day 4. Now, today is day 4, and before we start, same thing, we got a couple of announcements to make. So we got a couple of announcements to make, so hang on, let me add my screen in. All right, so a couple of announcements. First thing, same thing, back to introduction. For those who still don't know, my name is Mr. Jonathan. I've been teaching coding since 2016. I've taught over 100 and over 80 schools up to today, and conducted over 8,000 hours of classes. All right, so that's me. So students, if you're enjoying the class, let us know as well. Okay. Next thing to take note, there are 4 places where you can watch the CodeMonkey Coding Olympics live stream for. The first way you can watch it is the CodeMonkey Singapore Facebook page. The second platform is the Graphite Academy Facebook page. The third platform is the MangoSTEEMS YouTube page. And the fourth platform is the Science Center YouTube page. So as always, there are 4 platforms you can watch this from. Just take note, there are 4 platforms you can watch this from. Feel free to go to any one of them to check it out, all right? Now, same thing as the last few days, students, take note, you should by now be using the CodeMonkey Coding Olympics login ID. Now, students, I repeat again, you should be using the CodeMonkey Coding Olympic IDs. Now, all of you should have received an email from the organizers of the event. In that email, it will specifically mention your login ID and your password. Now, please be very clear on that, because tomorrow, if you're not using your Coding Olympic ID, you will not be able to participate in the competition, okay? So students, I repeat again, please take note, you must be using a Coding Olympic ID at all times. This is very, very important for you to take note, okay? Next thing, same thing, students, if you have not logged in, please log into your CodeMonkey accounts now. By now, this is day 4, you should know how to log in, and it shouldn't be too difficult for you, okay? So that is day 4. So this is day 4 now. Today, what's going to happen is we're going to run through challenges 70 to 75. So we'll run through challenges 70 to 75. We'll do a quick recap on all the things you've covered so far, as well as we will cover a couple of challenges on skill mode. Now, tomorrow, take note, same thing, the live stream will start at 2:30. Day 5 official competition will start at 3 p.m. and we will officially have the competition take off at 3:15. All right, so later I'll show you a visual on that. All right, students, so take note on that. Okay, so before I move on to start on day 4, students, share one thing you've learned so far from the last 3 days. So we've gone through 3 days of training now. This is the 4th day. Students, share one thing you've learned in the comments that you've learned over the last 3 days. Just one thing will be good enough, all right? So share one thing. All right, then we're looking at the comments so we know what you're going to share. Right? I see some people said for loops, very good. All right, so I see for loops. You're like the loops and variables, a lot of loops and variables. Now, loops, variables, angles, all these things are just portion of the coding concepts, all right? It's just portion of coding. So coding is a lot more, there's a lot more to cover in coding. And for those who sign up for the September classes, take note, you'll be learning a lot more as well, all right? So I see variables, I see loops, I see, wow, a lot of things. For loops, very good. Some of you remember arrays. Arrays, another portion we covered so far, all right? Now, challenges 70 to 71 to 75, these challenges are assessment challenges. Now, what do I mean by assessment challenges? Assessment challenges means these challenges are a combination of everything you've learned so far. So challenge 70 to 75 are assessment challenges. They are a combination of everything you've learned so far. For 71 to 75 is a little bit tricky on that portion, all right? So take note, okay? So same thing as well, students, a couple of rules to follow. You should be able to hear me at all times. If you can't hear me, please let me know. Please check your audio. Make sure your audio is working fine, all right? Now, all instructions given by the instructor, do your best to follow them. Any questions, feel free to raise in the chat room. As usual, wherever you're stuck, sound them on in the comments. We have admin people standing by to take down all this information so we know where you're stuck at, all right? Read all instructions properly and apply them accordingly, all right? Because all instructions are designed to get you towards solving the challenges, all right? And this is hands-on as usual. Every time you'll be allocated a short time of practice time. During this practice time, please do your best to cover the challenges that you're looking to cover, all right? So take note on that. So that's the rules for today. Students, if you have not gone to the Coding Adventure Coding Adventure page, please go to the Coding Adventure page now. All right, and once you go in, select Coding Adventure 1. Once you select Coding Adventure Part 1, what happens is you will be in your CodeMonkey and you should be ready to code, all right? So you will be in your CodeMonkey and you should be ready to code. So while you're getting into your CodeMonkey screen, let me change mine so you can see my CodeMonkey screen as well, all right? All right, students, you should be able to see my CodeMonkey screen now. I'm on challenge 0, okay? So I'm just going to jump all the way to 71. So challenge 71, okay? And on this note, take note again, I repeat, challenge 71 to 75. These challenges are assessment-based challenges. Because they're assessment-based challenges, they are a combination of everything you've learned over the last 3 days, okay, students? So take note on that, all right? So this is challenge 71. Now, challenge 71 is quite straightforward. You got to make sure that crocodiles turn to face your monkey. So remember, we learned for loop, so I will do a for, C in array crocodiles, and then turn to monkey. And if you do it correctly, you'll notice my crocodiles will now turn, all right? So after he turns to the monkey, you should be good to go, all right, students? Now, before I give your practice time, students, take note, again, take note the challenges for tomorrow's competition will be different from what you're looking here. So today, what we're going to be covering is 71 to 75. After we cover those challenges, we will go through a quick recap on the important modules that you need to focus on. After that is done, we will then go on to do some challenges in skill mode. All right, students? So take note on that. Now, I'm going to give you a quick 10 minutes. It's just a quick 10 minutes for you to run through challenges 71 to 75. After that 10 minutes practice time, please come back. We will run through the challenges where you're heavily stuck at. Okay, students? So take note on that. We'll go for a quick 10-minute practice time, and then we'll see you in 10 minutes. All right? All right, students, welcome back from your practice time. I see a lot of requests for many different challenges. I see 73, 75, 71. So students, what we're gonna do is we are going to be covering the challenges 71, 72, 73, 74, and 75. Now, for those who follow what I did just now, you will realize that you don't have the answer because the coding, or rather the answer is not just for C in crocodiles, right? So let me just share my screen. You'll notice that's what I did. Once you do that off the bat, you just need to add in step, distance to banana. So for challenge 71, it's quite simple. After you add in the for loop, all right, after you add in the for loop, make sure your monkey is able to cross the river, and then you're good to go. So that's challenge 71, okay? So challenge 71, instead of for T in turtles, for I in islands, remember, your crocodiles can be part of the for loop as well, okay? So students, take note, your crocodiles can be part of the for loop as well. Now remember, anything that has a list or has many different objects, same objects, or rather different same objects in the same group, what you can do is you can use a for loop. Using that for loop, you'll be able to control all of them at once. So students, remember yesterday I shared with you about arrays? And when we covered arrays, I taught you all that, hey, arrays is like the name list. So as long as you see a bunch of different objects in the same group, they can be grouped together. And when they can be grouped together, you can use for loops. In this particular challenge, we use the for loops for our crocodile, okay? So in this particular challenge, we use the for loops for our crocodile. Now let's move on to challenge 72, okay? So challenge 72. Now, same thing. It's the same scenario over here. What happens is the crocodiles are facing different directions. And because they're facing different directions, what you can do, all right, what you can do is same as challenge 71. So take note, what you can do is the same as challenge 71. So the first thing I would do is I would do a for loop, and I will group this loop under the variable C, and the array, we will name it crocodiles. So for C in crocodiles, so we'll do C turn to banana. And if you do it correctly, you notice my crocodiles now all turn to the correct banana. So you notice now my crocodiles have formed a bridge across the river. So once my crocodiles have formed the bridge, what's going to happen is the next thing you notice that my monkey is not facing the right direction. My monkey is actually facing this direction over here. All right, so hang on. My monkey is facing this direction over here. And because it's facing this direction, if he moves forward, he will drop into the sea. If he moves forward, he'll drop into the sea. What we can do is remember our inside loops and outside loops. Remember the tab, what is inside and outside loop? So what you can do is I'll be exiting the loop. So there's no more loop. So I'll just put here, exited the loop. All right. And in this particular case, I will turn to banana. And then my monkey can now step distance to banana. Oops. And if you do it, oops. And if you do it correctly, your monkey will now be able to cross to the banana, all right? So hang on, step distance to, let's see, sorry. Ta-da! Now your monkey can cross the bridge, okay? So that's how it works. All right, students, so that's challenge 72. Now take note again, as I mentioned, in arrays, you can always group them together and then you can use for loops, all right? So let's move on. Let's look at challenge 73. Now what's going to happen after I cover all the challenges is we will do a quick recap on the theoretical concepts covered, all right? So do a quick recap on the theoretical concepts covered. Okay, so now we are on challenge 73. So this is tricky now, what's going on here? There are two scenarios over here, or rather two parts to this challenge. The first part you will notice is the crocodiles. There are 3 crocodiles over here, so 3 crocodiles, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 islands. So take note, it's 2 portions to challenge 73. It's 2 parts for challenge 73. Now, what are 2 parts? The first part is the crocodile. The second part is the island. So the first thing I will do is I'll make sure my for loop is in the correct array. And in that for loop, I will do crocodiles. And the same thing, it will be C dot turn to And who do I turn to? Now remember, my monkey can move. So to be very specific, I will turn to island 0. Why do I do that? Because my monkey can move. You can use the raft as well, but because my monkey can move and I want to make sure my anchor point is fixed, I will use island 0. So with that done, my crocodile now forms a bridge. With my crocodile forming a bridge, all right, with my crocodile forming a bridge, the next step comes this way. The next step is where my monkey now has to cross over. So I'll do monkey step distance 2, and same thing, I will go to island 0. So you watch the code. Now my monkey can cross over. So now my monkey can cross over to island 0. Students, do you all notice that my monkey can now cross over to island 0? With that done, we will now have to add in an extra loop. Now, what's the new loop? So now my monkey has to travel across the islands. So my monkey has to travel across the islands. As he travels across the islands, we notice that, hey, there are 8 islands over here. And in those 8 islands, these 8 islands, I need to do another for loop. So I'll do for I in islands, right? So I just want to make sure, yeah, it's islands. And because it's island, I will do monkey turn to I. And if you do it correctly off the bat, my monkey will now cross and he will follow the islands accordingly. Can you see that, students? So I'm just going to show you one more time so you're all right with it, okay? So that is how it's going to work. Now that's a 2-star solution. Later I'll show you a 3-star solution, all right? So this is just a simple breakdown first, all right, students? This is a very simple breakdown. There's a to getting 3 stars, all right? So let me just show you this again. So you notice that's how it works, right? And then my monkey will cross. You notice that's how it works, my monkey will cross. Now here's the trick, students. So I'm going to show you the trick in a bit. It says solve the challenge with 5 lines or fewer. So what is the extra lines available in our code now? So what's the extra lines? In this particular case, monkey step distance to island is extra. Why is it extra? Because we got 8 islands. What if I remove this and I swap the code around? So I'm just going to swap the code around. You will now notice I would have solved the challenge with 5 lines of code, sorry. So my monkey crosses and then he turns, all right? So take note on that. My monkey crosses and then he turns, all right? So you'll notice turn to I, step distance to I. Sorry. So you do it correctly, it looks like that. So that is the trick to getting him crossing the river. All right, that is the trick. Again, I'm going to show it to you one more time. I'm going to show it to you one more time. All right, I will do monkey. I'm just going to show you. So that's how I solve it with 5 lines. All right, students. You notice my monkey will cross. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, how does this work? Very simple, students. Just take note. When we cross the river, the first island becomes our anchor point for my monkey. So the first island becomes an anchor point for the monkey. Because it becomes an anchor point, the monkey just needs to move towards that island, and we are good to go. All right, students? So that's a 3-star solution for our Coding Adventure Challenge 73. So that is a 3-star solution for 73, okay? So next thing I'm going to do is 74, students. 74, 75 gets a lot harder. All right, so you need to be able to break down the steps, okay? So let's look at this now. So remember we had a similar challenge yesterday where your monkey had to travel back to the raft. So we had a similar challenge yesterday where our monkey had to travel back to the raft. Now, take note, students. Take note, when you see a challenge like this, what happens is the monkey will have to go to the banana and he has to go back to the raft. So the raft becomes the anchor point, all right, students? The raft becomes an anchor point. Now, how does this work? Very simple. First thing I will do is for C in crocodiles, point or turn to. Why turn to? Turn to where? They will have to turn to the raft. Why the raft? Because the raft will allow a bridge to be formed. All right. So I'll do for C. Again, the same thing where as erase crocodiles. And then it will be C, turn to. Turn to where? Turn to the raft. That is step 1. So now step 1 is done. So I'm just going to do a comment here. Step 1. All right. Crocodiles now form a bridge. Now with my crocodiles forming a bridge, my next step will be to get my monkey to all the bananas. So remember just now in our previous code, we learned, what did we learn? We learned that we can have 2 for loops in the same code. We learned that we can have 2 for loops in the same code. Because we know we can have 2 for loops in the same code, what we will do next is we will do one more for loop, but this time the for loop will be for the bananas, for B in bananas. Why bananas? Because our objective is to get to all 4 bananas. We need to make sure our monkey is able to get to all 4 of them. So with that second for loop, the next thing will be monkey turn to B. Monkey step distance to B. And if I do it correctly, my monkey should now be able to cross. And then you realize there's an error. What's the error, student? The error here is right off the bat, my monkey is unable to go to the next banana because by turning to the next banana, he will drop into the river. So we are missing a step, student. What is the step we're missing? Can you share that out? We are missing a step. We are missing a step. What's the step that our monkeys missing? So give it a guess. Let's see who knows the answer. All right. So we are missing a step before we can end this challenge. All right. Eno, to answer your question on whether to put monkey or not, I put monkey there because I'm trying to make sure it's an object-specific function. So I'm making it specific to the object itself, which is the monkey. Now, in this particular code, you don't have to put monkey, but for quality practice, that means when you're practicing by your own, when you move to harder codes, take note that object-specific functions are very important, okay? So just because the monkey is default doesn't mean you have to do it. So very good. I see some of the students' answers. They say I have to step distance to rough. Very good. Before I even step distance to rough, I have to monkey turn to rough first. Because my monkey has to go back to the rough, right? And if I do it correctly, run. Now he turns back, he goes to the rough, and now he goes to all the banana, students. So that is how you solve challenge 74. Now to repeat Eno's question on why did I put monkey in my code, take note this is called object-specific functions, and these object-specific functions are designed to make sure the code knows which object it's targeting, all right? I can negative step, yes, but to negative step, students, very good question. To negative step, I will need to form a variable. Remember yesterday, to negative steps, I'll need to form a new variable, which means I will need to form a variable within the for loop, which is very troublesome. The easiest way would be just turn to rough, step distance to rough. All right, students? So remember, that's what we learned yesterday, all right? Yes, I can negative steps, but because the script, remember, you can't do negative functions, you can only do negative variables. So I will have to add in a new variable for challenge 24. And to do that, I will have a very long line of code. I don't see a need to have a longer line of code. Okay, students? All right, so that is 74. Now let's move on to challenge 75, all right, students? Now we are going to cover the last challenge for the whole coding adventure 1, challenge 75. And challenge 75 is super tricky, all right? I think most of you will be stuck at challenge 75 because challenge 75 is actually a very challenging challenge, all right? So you notice for B in bananas, turn to B, step distance to B. Now what is this? This is, so let's just run the code and see what happens. Monkey runs, push, my monkey dropped into the river. Now challenge 75, I'm just gonna break this down for you, okay? This is a new concept, it's called nested loops, all right? So just take note, the first thing over here, this is challenge 75, yeah? This is the solution to challenge 75. Now you take note, students, the first thing I did is for B in banana, so step 1. I'm just gonna remove all these things. So for B in banana, so I created a group, right, that represents all bananas, so that's step 1. And step 2, you notice I have a for loop within a for loop. So what's going on? So students, remember when we did challenge from challenges 20 to 30 when we're covering loops, some of the times we are able to do 4 times and then 5 times and then they're within the same loop. So it's the same thing over here, students, for challenge 75. It's the same thing over here, which means what happens here is we're creating a nested loop where the loop is inside another loop. So the for loop is inside another loop. You take note of that. Yeah? So the for loop is inside another loop. And what we did was, first thing, C turned to B. Now, what does this mean? This means I made sure my crocodiles turned to all my bananas in the group called B, right? So I made sure my crocodiles turned to all my bananas in the group called B, which means if I run the answer for you, you'll notice that first thing, my crocodile will all face the first banana, my crocodile will all face the second banana, and my crocodile will all face the third banana. So that is how challenge 75 is done, students. I'm going to explain this one more time because this is tricky, all right? So step 1, all right? Step 1, students, is knowing that first, I have to, or rather, I will identify, let's do step 0 first. I will identify all the groups here. And the groups will be bananas, crocodiles, and islands. So that is step 0. Now step 1. Step 1 will be mixing. So after I've identified all the groups, which is bananas, crocodiles, and islands, the next thing will be knowing what code to do. So the next step will be to add a for loop. And this for loop is for my crocodiles to form the bridge. But before I can get my crocodiles to form the bridge, I realize, oh dear, my crocodile has to face either the island or the banana. So before I can even do that, I have to first do for B in bananas. And this will have created a group for my bananas, all right? So this will have created a for loop for my banana. So once that is done, and I have the variable B, notice, students, now my variable B is created. So because my variable B is created, my next step will be, same thing, my crocodile can't move, so I will now have to make sure for C in crocodiles. And this is where my crocodiles are now grouped under the variable C, all right? So now my crocodiles are grouped under the variable C. With that done, all right, I can now make sure my crocodile turn to the bananas. Now remember, in step 1, we created the group B in banana, so we created a group B, right? Now we will have to do group C turn to B. So you notice this is step 3. You notice this? Step 3. So group C turn to B. After that is done, I'm just going to delete these 2 codes so you don't get confused. You notice that right away, my crocodiles will point to all the bananas specifically. All right, so my crocodiles will point to all the bananas specifically. Once my crocodile is able to point to the first banana, second banana, third banana, it is now time for my monkey to move. Now, students, this is where it's tricky because it's a loop within a loop. I will now exit the first loop because I need my monkey to take reference. So take note, yeah? So step 4, I'll do step 3.5, so you're clear. Monkey will have to take reference from the banana, which is step 1, right? So by monkey taking reference from the banana, I will have to exit my loop. By exiting my loop, I will now do monkey turn to B. And after my monkey turn to B, my monkey can now step distance to B. And with that done, you will have solved this in 4 lines. All right, 5 lines, all right? So that is the thought process behind getting your monkey to move to the last banana in this challenge, all right? So challenge 75 is tricky. It requires 2 for loops. Take note, a loop within a loop, okay? All right, so I'm just going to cover again, why did I put 8 dots, students? So for those who ask why did I put 8 dots, you notice the 8 dots here, because the code C turn to B is repeated with reference to the number of crocodiles. Students, I repeat again, because the C turn to B is taken with reference from the number of crocodiles. Because of that, it has to be 8 dots, because that 8 dots will mean within another loop. So that is called a nested loop. All right, students, this is what we call a nested loop. It's just a loop within a loop, okay? So the technical term for this is called a nested loop, but the 8 dots represent, okay, you mean this, is it? This one is just comments. All right, if you all mean this is just comments. So nested loops. So just you know, this is nested loops. It's a loop within a loop. And when you do a loop within a loop, remember your spacings have to be accurate. Okay, students. So take note. When we do loop within loops, your spacings have to be accurate. So that is challenge 75, students. It's a bit tricky. I suggest what you do, students, when you have the time, go back and practice challenges 71 to 75 as much as you can. Okay. So do your best to practice challenges 71 to 75 as much as you can. Okay. So that is the end of challenge 75. Now, students, congratulations, you've completed challenges 0 to 75 during this 4 days training. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to be covering a quick recap on the important concepts covered. All right. We're going to be doing a quick recap on the concepts covered. We are not going to be doing the whole skill mode. NG will not be doing the whole skill mode, because if we do the whole skill mode, you'll be with me for another 8 to 10 hours. Okay, students. All right. So if you do the whole skill mode, you'll be with me for another 8 to 10 hours. What we will do is we'll be going through a recap of some of the important modules in our Coding Adventure 1. After going through those modules, we will then go for a quick break, a quick bio break, go and get your, get some water, get some snacks, go and, stretch a bit. And when we come back, we'll move on to skill mode, students. So take note on that, okay? So that's how it's going to work. I will share more information on the competition rundown by the end of today, okay? So let's just go back and cover the important concepts. All right. So here is the important concepts over the last 3 days. The first important concept covered over the last 3 days is loops. So I'm just jumping to a random challenge in loops, okay? So the first important concept learned now, again, I repeat, what I'm sharing now, please pay very close attention to, because these are important for your competition, okay? So take note, challenge 24 is where we start working with loops. And before we even started on for loops, nested loops, all we did was learn how loops work. And loops basically means a code to repeat the code below multiple times. So it's just designed to repeat the code multiple times. In this scenario, you will notice it's a square. It's a square, right, students? It's a square. And a square is something we call a regular polygon. So remember, we learned this yesterday as well, regular polygon. And regular polygons, exterior angles, all add up to 360 degrees. So what does this mean? This means if I want to find the turning angle, I will take 360 divided by 4. You will now officially get the answer 360 divided by 4, 90 degrees, right? So you get 90 degrees. At 90 degrees, you will notice that the code will actually look like this. I'm just going to remove my comments. 4, or no more 4, right? We got no more 4. So now we are doing 3 times. You can actually do 4 times, it's the same. It will be step, this step, but this is easier. So step 13. Step 13, and then turn right. And if you do it correctly, your monkey will now move. So take note, loops are important. And when we talk about loops, remember we can have loops within a loop. All right, students? Take note, when we do loops, take note we can have loops within a loop. For those who are asking about hints for the competition, if you've been paying attention to the class over the last few days, you'll notice that I've given you a lot of hints, all right? So take note, yeah? So take note on that. So 25 was another interesting challenge on loops, where we learned that, hey, now instead of polygons, we can do funny shapes as well. So you notice this is a funny L shape. This is a funny L shape. And in that funny L shape, you will notice that I can actually repeat the code multiple times. So turn left, step 5. I will then turn right. step 5, and then it will be 4 times. And if I do it correctly right off the bat, my monkey can now walk in a funny shape for all these things. All right, students, so take note, my monkey can now walk in a funny shape for all these things. So that is challenge 25. Now that is the end for loops. I would so just take note, students, loops are a very important concept covered in Coding Adventure 1. Take note, loops are fundamental of any coding language. So this is where you will learn that, okay, because loops are important, please pay very close attention to them. All right, students. The next thing I will jump to, students, because we covered loops, so I'm just going to open my map. The next thing we will cover is variables. Now, variables is split into 2 parts. You'll notice variables is split into 2 parts. Part 1 is 31 to 40. In that portion, we cover variables part A. 41 to 50, we cover variables part B. Now, what is this? All right, students. So let's go to 30. Let's jump to 34 and let's see how things go. All right. So let's go to 34, students. And this is where, remember, when we've covered this in day 2, a lot of you were asking, hey, what does the variable represent? Remember, every time you see a challenge with a variable already defined for you, the first thing you're supposed to find out is, what does the variable represent? So same thing, T, what does T represent? T represents number of times to loop. X represents the number of steps required, and then D represents the turning angle. And remember, if when I taught you regular polygons, so the turning angle is 360 divided by 3 is now equals to 120 degrees. So is it correct? My formula is correct. You notice D is 120, so I don't have to change D. So all I gotta do is now measure the steps all the way, 20 steps. So I just change my angle to 20, my steps to 20. My T, because my triangle has 3 sides, I will now add 3 and run the program. All right, and then my monkey will be able to get to all 3 of the bananas. All right, students, you'll be able to get to all the bananas. So that's how it will work. Okay, students? So that is, so let me just run again. So notice the monkey will be able to get to all the bananas. Once he gets to all the bananas, you will have solved your challenge. All right. So that is challenge 34. Now, students, again, take note, variables. Remember, when I covered variables, I was sharing variables represent a store of information. So remember, when I was covering this, variables represent a store of information. And in this particular scenario, we're storing numbers specific to the challenge, all right? Specific to the challenge. So that is 34. Now we jump further down, and then we'll learn that, hey, instead of just storing numbers, we can store functions within the variable. So let's go to 48. So let's jump to 48, all right? So now we notice that, hey, in the challenge 48, we also learned about formulas. So remember, you can use variables to create formulas. And when we were covering this, I was teaching you about number patterns. You notice that right off the bat, it's 8 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. So the formula here is D is equals to D plus 4. I run the code. My monkey should be able to now get to all the bananas. So take note, students, variables, there's a few things you got to take note. First thing with variables is knowing how the variables work. Second thing to take note is I can store a number in my variable, all right? And the third thing to take note is I can actually create formulas for my variable. So I can create formulas for my variable, and these formulas can be input into my loop, right? So these formulas can be input into my loop. So that is challenge 48, all right? And then I'm just going to go 49 just to show you what it's about. I'm just going to go to 49, quick one. And same thing, you'll notice 49 is, it covers our number patterns, but this time it's negative. And then we're going to jump to challenge 50, okay? So quick one. So challenge 50, all right? And then challenge 50, same thing. Remember, we can link them instead of to the monkey, we can link the variable to our turtle. And if you do it properly, my D is the variable and represents steps my turtle. So my turtle will step D, and then my monkey can step 14 and step -15. Now, students, note, I'm going to teach you an important concept. Just now, one of your friends asked, is something I would call quality coding. Now, what is quality coding? Now, when we do code, one of the things about coding is when I pass the code to somebody else. When I pass the code to somebody else, we will take note that if the person can read my code, it means my code is of quality standard. So in this particular case, remember just now somebody asked me, why did I add monkey step? Because when I add monkey step, all right, when I add monkey step, what happens is the other person who reads my code will now know that that code is specific for the monkey, all right? So the other person that reads my code will now know that this code is specific for the monkey. Because of that, I'll run the program and my monkey is now able to cross along. You notice that? The code doesn't change. I just added monkey dot. So this is called quality coding, okay? This is quality coding, students. So take note on that. And then after that, I'm going to go cover for loops, all right? So after this, I'll cover for loops. So we are recapping the 3 most important modules for Coding Adventure 1. In this case, it's loops, it's variables. So we completed loops, we completed variables. The last part is, the last part is our, the last part is our for loops, all right, students? So take note, the last part is for loops. In for loops, we learn that instead of repeating a loop multiple times, we can repeat a loop with reference to a specific group of objects. So listen again, I repeat again. In loops, we learn that we can repeat a code multiple times. In for loops, we learn that for loops allows you to repeat a code with reference to a group of objects. All right. So for loops allows you to repeat a code with reference to a group of objects. In this case, what happens is in our challenge 64, my rats are moving my banana around. There's no way I can use a traditional loop for this. There's no way I can do that because I don't know what angle it's supposed to move. So for this to be solved, I will have to do for loops, which means I will do for B in bananas turn to B, and if I want to be object specific again, monkey dot turn to B. And if I do it correctly right off the bat, my monkey runs away. It doesn't matter where my bananas are at now, because wherever they are at, my monkey will now go towards these objects, students. So that is 64 on for loops, okay? So that's 64 on for loops. All right. So that is challenge 64. I'll cover one more challenge for y'all. All right, I'll cover one more challenge for y'all. So I just jump over here. So for loops, let's look at challenge 70. I think there was quite a bit of request for 70. So we'll cover 70 again. So if you notice for 70, this is the solution now. For 70, just now somebody asked me, why don't I step negative distance to B? Now, students take note, when we learn coding, you can never negative a function. It doesn't make sense because a function is not a number, right? But what you can do is you can negative a variable, all right? So students take note again, when we work with functions, you can never negative a function, but you can negative a variable. So when we negative a variable in challenge 70, you'll notice that we created a variable. Now, what does this variable represent? X equals distance to B. What is this? This variable here represents the distance required for all bananas. So notice, students, the variable now represents the different distances required for all the bananas. So that is X, all right? So that is why we form the variable X. Now, once X is done, I can now do a negative variable, which means I can step X, step minus X. And with that done, my monkey will be able to get to all the banana, all right? So take note. So my monkey will now be able to get to all the banana, all right? So that's how it works. Okay, so this is challenge 70 students. Now we also went through 71 to 75 at the start of today's training. Students, 71 to 75 is challenging. If you are lost at any time, please do your best to practice them as much as you can. If you have if you want to refer to the code as well, always remember that, hey, you can watch this replay at all the 4 platforms. So feel free to go and watch the 4 platforms to get the codes for the class. All right, so this is challenge 70. Now students, we have come to the end of the quick recap. That was the recap of the 3 most important modules: loops, variables, and for loops. These are the 3 most important things in Coding Adventure 1. Take note, again, I repeat, these are very important for your competition tomorrow. All right, students? So that is it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go for a quick 10-minute break. During this 10 minutes, students, feel free to use the washroom, drink some water, go and stretch yourselves. When we come back, we will start working on skill mode. All right, students, I've already identified a few challenges on skill mode for us to work on. I'll be running through them. I'll be running through the skill mode together with everyone, all right? So there won't be another practice time. We'll just be running through the challenges together. Students, take note on that, okay? So we'll go for a quick 10-minute break. We'll come back at 4:05. And at 4:05, I will start working on skill mode with every one of you, all right? That's it, students. So go and get some snacks, get some water, stretch yourself. I'll see you all in 10 minutes. Okay, students, welcome back from your break. We hope you had a good break. You got your snacks, you got your water, you had a stretch. Make sure you felt all right. All right. So, students, we completed 75 challenges, and congratulations to everyone in the call who've spent the last 4 days with us completing 75 challenges. It's a lot of challenges. Now take note, tomorrow is competition day. We hope you have we hope you have enough information, and we wish you all the best for competition. All right. Now, what we're gonna do now, as promised, is we are going to be covering skill mode. Now, because skill mode has a lot of challenges, what we will do is I will go through them. I'll go through specific skill mode challenges, and in those challenges, students, if you can do them with me, if you can't, it's fine as well. Just do your best. All right. So hang on, let me share my screen. So take note, we'll be going through specific challenges in skill mode. Now, what are these challenges? So let me just share my screen so you know what challenges we're going to be going through. Hang on. So right off the bat, if you notice, we will be covering again loops. We'll be covering 3 challenges in loops. We'll be covering 4 challenges in variables. And we will be covering another 3 challenges in for forests, which means we'll be covering 3 from loops, 4 from variables, and 3 from for loops, which means we're covering a total of 10 challenges in the next 30 or so minutes. All right. So students, bear with us. We'll be covering about 10 challenges in this particular practice. So the first thing I'll do is I'll jump to challenge 6 in skill mode. Now, students, what is skill mode? Skill mode is an extra bonus challenge for you to practice everything you've learned from lesson 1, challenge 1, all the way to challenge 75. So it's a huge, it's something like extra challenges for you to practice on. This skill mode is great because it helps you cement your learning, and it helps you look at everything you've learned so far up to 75. All right. So let's look at skill mode loops challenge 6. So let me jump to skill mode loops challenge 6, and then we can run through them together. All right. So skill mode challenge 6. Now, students, take note that there will not be practice time this round because we are running short on time. What we will do, however, is we will be going through the challenges with you on the specific challenge. So the first thing we'll be covering is loops challenge 6. All right, loops challenge 6. So hang on, let me change my screen. So now I'm going to go to skill mode, yeah? So students, for those who don't know where to find skill mode, take note, all you just got to do is on the map, on the top right-hand side on the map, you'll notice it says story mode and skill mode. Select your appropriate mode and you'll be able to get it. So you see, I just press story mode, skill mode, story mode, skill mode. All right. And then I'm going to move to loops challenge 6. Loops challenge 6, all right? So loops challenge 6. Now, this is what skill mode looks like. Take note, skill mode backdrop is black. So take note, skill mode backdrop is black, all right? And in this challenge, you notice that, oh, right now it's the same thing. You notice, hey, I have how many bananas here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 bananas. It's actually in the shape of a decagon. So remember, I taught you about the regular polygon trick. So what's 360 divided by 10? 360 divided by 10 is 36. So that's it. You notice that 10 times turtle step 5, right off the bat, you will notice that all I got to do for challenge 6 in skill mode is I just need to step 5. Once done, my monkey is able to step onto the turtle, and all the way, my turtle is now able to get to all the bananas, all right? You notice my turtle is getting to all the bananas, all right? So that is challenge 6 in skill mode. Now, student, remember the math formula I taught you all? All right, so we just do, so regular polygons always have the same length of sides. That means all their sides have the same length, or rather regular polygons, sides always have the same length. And because they have the same length, to find the exterior angles or the turning angle, I just need to take 360 divided by number of sides. In this case, it's 360 divided by 10. And then my turning angle is 36 degrees. All right, students, that is how you do challenge 6 in skill mode. All right, so the next challenge I will cover is challenge 8. The next challenge I'll cover is challenge 8. So students, take note, I'm jumping to challenge 8. All right. So I'm jumping to challenge 8. So it's a bit slow, so don't mind the lag, all right? Okay, so on challenge 8, all right, students, you notice a couple of different things right now. Right now, you notice there's a square in the challenge. So there is a square in the challenge. What is this square? This square is right over here where the monkey is at. Take note, students, I'm just going to run the code to see what happens. So turn right, steps 3. Right off the bat, you notice that my monkey is able to get to all 3 bananas. He just needs to cross the bridge. And remember when we did loops, we learned about inside loops and outside loops. So if you notice, I highlight over here, you notice that there are 4 dots. That is inside loops, all right? So I got to exit the loop. I will now step 10. My monkey will be able to get to all the bananas, all right? So my monkey will now be able to get to all the bananas. So that is challenge 8. Okay, students? That is challenge 8. Now, students, take note. I'm just going to do a comment here. Take note, remember in loops, there are concepts of inside loops and outside loops. And these concepts are important for you to understand because once you have mastered inside loops and outside loops, it's a lot easier for you when you work with loops, all right, students? So that is inside loops and outside loops. Now, the last challenge I'm going to go, let's just go to challenge 9. So hang on, it's taking a while. So let's go to challenge 9, all right, students? So this is the portion of skill mode that we'll be covering for loops. We're covering 6, 8, 9. And then the next portion in skill mode we'll be covering is variables. So in variables, we'll cover 4 challenges in variables, all right, students? So we'll be covering 4 challenges in variables, okay? Yes, students, we're experiencing a bit of lag, so just hang in there a bit, all right? Hang in there a bit while we resolve the issue. In the meantime, just be patient, all right? Because once you're patient, your CodeMonkey shouldn't be lagging that bad. It just takes a little bit longer for the loading. Now, students, take note, all right? In challenge 9, you'll notice that, hey, now my monkey is on an island. He has to go to the turtles and then they have to turn. So, wow, this looks so complicated. So I'm not sure what to do. When you're not sure what to do, just run. So you notice that, oh, my turtle is actually moving to all the bananas. So the first thing I will do is turn which way? Turn left. So my monkey will face the turtle. And then once he faces the turtle, I will step 5. So now my monkey is on the turtle. So my monkey is now on the turtle. And what we're going to do is we now have to repeat the number of times. So I got 9 bananas in total here. I will do 9 times. So 0 to 9, I got 10. 0 to 9 means I got 10, so 10 times. So once I do that 10 times, now my monkey will walk on all the my monkey will be on the turtle and cross along to all the bananas. All right, students. So that's how it works. So that is 3, 9. So again, student, this is skill mode, students. Skill mode challenge 9. We've covered challenge 6. We've covered challenge 8. We've covered challenge 9. So that is skill mode for your loops. All right, students, that is skill mode for your loops. Now, the next thing we are going to be covering, we've covered loops. We are going to be moving on to variables. So student, take notes in variables. All right, we're covering skill mode challenge 4 first. All right, so we're going to be covering variables. And in variables, we'll cover skill mode challenge 4. Now, students, when you have the time, feel free to practice them as much as you can at home. And while you practice them, take note, students, there are a lot of challenges in skill mode. Enjoy your time doing them, all right, students? So you notice skill mode challenge 4 looks like this. Wow, this is complicated. Why is it complicated? Because it's not a regular polygon now. Now it's a different shape. And in this different shape, we also notice that there is a variable D. Now, what is this variable D? So let's find out. Let's just run the code. So D represents a couple of things. D represents the angle of turning. So D represents the angle of turning. So to solve that, all right, you notice that you will have to do D equals 20 to find the different angles. Take your ruler measure. You notice that the first angle is straight, the second angle is 10, and then you notice that, hey, the angles are increasing by 5. So that is skill mode challenge, challenge 4, right? So you do it accordingly. You run the code now. D equals D plus 5. As the angles increases, your monkey will be able to get to all the bananas. So you take note, it's like a loop pattern, right? It's a loop pattern. Just make sure your angles are increasing by 5. All right, students? So your angles are increasing by 5. So that is the trick for challenge 4. So remember, I'm covering 4 challenges in variables because variables is a very important concept in any coding language, all right? So variables is a very important concept in any coding language. The next challenge I will cover is challenge 8. We'll cover challenge 8, all right, students? So challenge 8. So on challenge 8, you will notice, that, hey, same thing. When we have a variable, we must first define what this variable is. In this particular case, I am defining this variable as number of steps to move for who? For my turtle, right? Because turtle step X. So notice that turtle step X. So that's about 17 steps. So if I run it accordingly, my turtle will now move to the banana. All right, students. So with that accordingly, if you look at how this works, the next thing you do is 3 times turn right. And you notice that because my monkey is positioned in a square. Now, because it's in a square, and when we work with squares, we learn that, hey, in any polygon, regular polygon, the length of the sides are the same. So I can then use the variable X again to now move my monkey. So take note, I can now use the variable X again to move my monkey as well. And if I've done it right, off the bat, challenge 8, skill mode will be done. So take note, students, that is how challenge 8 is done on my skill mode. So I'm just going to run the code again so you know, all right? So that is challenge 8. Okay, so that is 4.8. So now we're going to move on to the next challenge in variables. The next challenge to cover will be challenge 16. So take note, I'm going to jump to challenge 16, yeah? The challenge 16. So in challenge 16, you notice, oh no, right off the bat, oh no. First, we notice that the number of steps required is increasing by 4. So remember when we were covering number patterns and I taught you can add formulas inside your loops. So in this particular case, you notice that, hey, my movement steps are increasing by 4. To improve that, I know that I will need a formula. So to solve this challenge, I know I will need a formula. So let's go step by step. We've started D equals to 4. With D equals to 4, all I got to do now is 3 times, actually we can do 4, but we can do 3 times, step D, turn, let's see, which direction is turn right, so my monkey will turn right, yeah? Step 4, turn D, and then what happens? We realize, hey, my monkey is not back in the right position. So remember, students, one of the things I taught y'all is you can negative a variable, but you cannot negative a function. All right, so you can negative a variable, you can't negative a function. So if I do it correctly, you notice, hey, now my monkey can move forward, he moves backward, and then he turns. You see, now he moves in all 4 directions. So the last step to solve this will be D is equal to D plus 4, and my solution is now done. So that is 16, all right? So that is CodeMonkey skill mode challenge 16, okay? So 3 times 3 bananas. So if I want 4 times, it will be 4 bananas. So take note on that, okay, students? So that is skill mode challenge 16 in variables, all right? Skill mode challenge 16 in variables. Now, let's move on to the last challenge for variables. So remember, variables act as a store of information. I'm just going to jump. We're going to go to challenge 19, okay? So challenge 19. So on challenge 19, you'll notice that, oh, what is dm dt? What is all these things? Now, very simple. So when we look at variables again, the first thing we have to identify, what is the variable? So dm represents steps for monkey. dt represents steps for turtle. So two things, monkey steps and turtle steps. Now, once that is done, I would just, so we know, say you don't have to say, because say just kind of tells you the answer. So let's just leave it there. We will now step, remember, object specific, yeah? So if I need to be objective, monkey step dm, monkey dot step negative dm, and then my turtle will now step dt. Let's give it a try. Now you notice, hey, my monkey can now walk over to the first banana and then he walks back. And now my turtle will let you move back, all right? Oh, whoops, I had a syntax error, dt. So let's run again. Students, take note, in any syntax-based coding, the way you type matters, all right? So your capital letters, small letters matter, okay? So once that is done, we'll notice that, hey, now I need to change my formula. So now I need to change my formula. I need to add in a formula, right? So now I need to add in a formula. So let's add in the next formula, all right? So the next formula will be dm is equals to dm minus 5. And my last formula will be dt is equals to dt plus 2. And let's run the code again. 4 times, 4 bananas. He's going to run backwards. He's going to move backwards. So backwards. And then he steps dt. Now I manipulated my variable. The formula has changed again. So 15. So you watch 15. And he steps backward 15. And then he moves again. And then now he steps forward 10. All right. He moves forwards 10. And then the last portion is going to get 5. And that is how you solve challenge 19, all right, students? Now, again, I repeat, the say dm dt is not important. You don't have to have it there. It's just there as a reference, all right, students? So you see I got 2 stars because I used 10 lines, but if I remove this 2, you will now get 3 stars. So once I remove the say, you'll be able to get 3 stars, all right? So that's challenge 19, okay? So that is challenge 19 for skill mode. So that is the last challenge that I'll be covering for skill mode for the module variable. What we're going to do next is we're going to now move to the module for loops, all right? So the last one is for loops. So for loops, we'll be covering 3 challenges. So take note, students, in for loops, we'll be covering 3 challenges, okay? So let's move on to for loops. For loops, we'll cover challenge 4 first. So I'll be covering challenge 4. So for loops, we'll be covering challenge 4. Now take note, challenge 4 looks so messy. Oh no, it looks so messy. And it looks like my bush is blocking the banana, right? The bushes are blocking the banana. And because the bushes are blocking the banana, it becomes a serious problem. So let's just give it a try first. Let's do 4b in bananas. Monkey turn to B, monkey step distance to B. Let's see whether this works. Let's see whether this works. And if I run my code, my first banana is over here. Monkey got the first one, got the second one. He's going to get the third one. All right. All right. So you notice that off the bat, my monkey is now starting to get weird bananas, and then he's going to get stuck. My monkey just got stuck. He couldn't go to the last banana, and he got stuck. So now, because my monkey is stuck, I need another reference point. And what is this reference point? So very simple. Instead of 4b in bananas, I will now change my reference point to, not bananas, bushes. So now instead of using b in bananas, I'll use 4b in bushes with this new definition, let's see if we can get to all bananas, all right? So you notice 0 bush, number 1 bush, and then slowly it starts getting to all the bushes. You notice that now my monkey is getting all the bananas because all the bananas are beside a bush. All right, so that's the trick to this challenge. So take note, remember when we cover for loops, just because you have bananas doesn't mean you have to use bananas as a reference point. You can use the bushes as a reference point. All right, students. So that is for loops, challenge 4. Let's move on. We'll be covering next challenge 7. So let's cover challenge 7. So challenge 7. So challenge 7, you notice now, hey, I got so many turtles, and my turtles will now form a bridge. My turtles are there, my turtles will form a bridge. I need to make sure my monkey is passed from the first turtle to the second turtle to the third turtle. Now, how do we do this? Let's give it a try. So first thing we'll look at is we know that the object here is turtles. I will do for T in turtles. Then what do we do? T step 5. And remember, because it's object specific, I have to do a dot. And then now monkey will step 3. And if I do it correctly right off the bat, see? Ta-da! Okay, it's not 3 steps, it's 5 steps. All right? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, ta-da! And my monkey crosses the river. So remember, students, you can do T dot step 5. Remember, every time we do an object specific function, we have to add a dot. We have to add a dot, right? So we bridge the object and the function together. We will link the object and the function together. So that is challenge 7. Now I'm going to go to cover the last challenge for skill mode. We're going to be covering challenge 14, and 14 is the second last challenge for all your skill mode. All right, the second last challenge for all your skill mode. So this is challenge 14. Now challenge 14 looks so complicated. Oh no. My bananas are everywhere. I have a beaver, I have 3 frogs, I have 4 bushes. What do I do? This looks so confusing. So every time you're confused, let's look at the code first. X equals to 0. Now what represents X? We need to know what represents X, right? So and what's X equals to X plus 1? So we have to figure all these things. So let's look at the solution. Take note, all we did first was link the bananas to bananas X. Now what is X? X is a portion of the banana. So watch, students, let me run the code. Now my beaver moves forward, right? And my beaver moves to form a bridge for every single banana I work with. Notice that? Notice that? My beaver moves to form a bridge with any bananas I work with. So what's going on here? So students, let me just explain this code to you. You notice that instead of turn to bananas, the entire group, I'm turning to bananas X. What is bananas X, student? Remember yesterday when I shared an array is like a student name list. So right now you can see that the turn to bananas X is a use of a student name list. So example, this is called I want students register number 1 to 5 to stand up, and students register number 1 to 5 to stand up. So when we do that, the students 1 to 5 will stand up, because I define the range 1 to 5. Now, how do we define this? You notice that we're looking at X equals to X plus 1. So what does X represent? X in this case represents the register number of the banana. X represents the register number of the banana, and you'll notice that the banana here is banana 0. The banana here is banana 1. The banana here is banana 2. So now you notice that X represents the register number of the banana. We are doing 0, 1, 2. So by doing this, I will do a loop 3 times, turn to, so what is this? Turn to the register number in my formula, which is 0 plus 1 plus 1, which is 0, 1, and 2. So the register number in my formula is 0, 1, 2, right? With that done, my beaver will now create the bridge And if I run it, the first portion of the challenge will be completed. So you notice by making my beaver move, the first challenge of my challenge 14 is completed. After that, it's the same thing as what we normally do. We add in a for loop for y in bananas, step distance to y, turn to y. So that's how we get the solution done, all right, students? So same thing for y in bananas, turn to y, step distance to y, and that is how you solve challenge 14 on skill mode, okay, students? That's how you solve challenge 14 on skill mode. All right, that is the end for skill mode, students. I'm so sorry I can't cover all of skill mode because there's so many challenges in skill mode. Students, when you have the time back at home, feel free to run through the skill modes on your own. If you're not sure, feel free to check in with us and we'll be glad to answer them. In the meantime, students, before we go, a couple of quick announcements for tomorrow. So I'm just going to share my slide. Give me a while. So this is some important announcements for tomorrow, okay, students? So please do your best to pay attention. We got a couple of announcements for tomorrow, all right? So I'm going to be running through the competition information with all of you. So this is the announcement, students. Take note, for tomorrow's competition, please, students, double check your login IDs. Make sure you're using the official competition login ID, all right? If you're not sure where to find the ID again, refer to the email sent out by the organizers, and you will have the email with your login ID and your password. If you're not using those IDs, you will not be able to access the competition. Students, I repeat again, if you're not logged in to those IDs, you will not be able to access your competition, all right? Next thing is same thing as usual. The live stream will start at 2:30 p.m. The competition day officially starts at 3. What does this mean? This means 2:30 p.m. as usual, we'll be running music. From 2:30 to 3 o'clock, we'll be running music on our Facebook Live, our YouTube Live. 3 o'clock, I will come on and I will share the rundown of rules. I will do an introduction. We'll have some speeches from guests of honors as well. Once that is done, at 3:15, students, take note, at 3:15 tomorrow, competition will be live, which means anything you do from 3:15 to 4:15 in your competition account will be registered in our system as your solutions for the competition. All right, students, I repeat again, and 3:15 to 4:15 is the official commencement of the competition, okay? All your competition modules will go live tomorrow, all right? Next thing to take note, you have 1 hour to complete the competition challenges tomorrow. I will cover all these things again tomorrow. And take note, very important, the competition challenges will be different from the challenges you see in Coding Adventure 1. Again, the competition challenge will be different from the challenges you see in Coding Adventure 1. So if you've learned what you need to learn over the last 4 days, the concepts covered during our training is enough for you to participate in the competition. Just take note, the challenges will be different from what you see in Coding Adventure 1, all right? So that is the sharing of the coding, the competition information tomorrow, all right? So that is it, students. We've come to the end of day 4. We hope you learned something during this period of time. I wish you all the best tomorrow, students, and I will see you tomorrow for the competition. See you guys tomorrow.
The world is rapidly advancing, and with its continuous development, technology has become an integral part of our lives. So I ask you, is your child prepared for a knowledge-based future? Well, Graphite Academy has got your back. Innovation, knowledge, and critical thinking is what our academy offers. Founded in 2016 to prepare students for a highly digitalized future, we have conducted programs in over 120 different schools and have taught more than 10,000 students to date. Our quality coding curriculum is designed to impart analytical and critical thinking. Its challenging nature aids students in thinking beyond the prescribed course, preparing them to solve complicated problems. This pedagogy-focused curriculum is delivered to our students with a handful of specialists in coding and passionate faculty. The strategy of small-sized classes adds to a conducive learning environment where students can polish their thinking skills. Progressive curriculum, active parent engagement, extensive exposure to multiple platforms ensures that your child is equipped with ample amount of skill that could be advantageous for them in the workplace tomorrow. Our rigorous teaching system ensures that our faculty is well trained to provide educational and enjoyable lessons. We hold the pride of yielding knowledgeable, creative, and critical minds. So what are you waiting for? Get in touch with us.
Hi, I'm Paul Kim. I'm the Chief Technology Officer and Associate Dean at the Graduate School of Education at Stanford University. When I educate students, I would always emphasize the goal of knowing yourself and knowing others, and that would require a certain set of mindsets and attitudes. I call this global leaders who understand what the grand challenges may be for this world, and knowing the dire needs that others might have. Our programs are designed to address the challenges of today and also the challenges of tomorrow. FlyingCape has a vast array of network with education leaders and education service in Singapore and in many other countries. The team focuses on understanding the learners and helping them find their best talent, and at the same time help more students to become better and successful learners for life.
Computer programming is quickly becoming a basic skill our kids need to learn in order to thrive in today's economy. CodeMonkey teaches programming in a way that's effective and fun. Kids are excited about advancing from stage to stage, and they love the cute characters, great graphics, and engaging challenges. CodeMonkey teaches kids a real coding language from day one as opposed to blocks. Kids as young as third graders are writing real code intuitively and easily. This way, when they later learn languages like Java, the transition is really smooth. CodeMonkey was designed for teachers to use in a classroom environment. The platform includes an easy-to-use dashboard that lets you follow students' progress, tools for grading, and detailed lesson plans. We also have a training program and ongoing support for teachers. Reactions to CodeMonkey have been amazing. We love hearing from excited kids and teachers who are seeing their students learn advanced coding and enjoying every minute. Want to bring CodeMonkey to your school? We'd love to hear from you. Go to playcodemonkey.com and drop us a line. CodeMonkey. Write code, catch bananas, save the world.
Plus is a dynamic blended learning platform that combines teacher-led instruction, independent practice, formative assessment, and data-driven reporting to improve the reading skills of every student at every level. By providing high-quality instructional tools with high-interest level books in multiple formats, RAS Plus strengthens the connection between what is being taught and what students are practicing on their own. Teachers can easily assign digital resources to reinforce instruction that students can access online anytime, anywhere. Through our Kids A to Z e-learning portal, students can access content assigned by their teacher or read designated leveled books on their own using a computer or mobile device. Every leveled book on RAS Plus utilizes our best-in-class leveling system to ensure a developmentally appropriate reading experience for your students. All online reading activity and assessment results are tracked and reported back to the teacher through online, data-driven reports, making it easy to see what's working and inform future instruction. With RAS Plus, it's never been easier to combine effective whole class, small group, and one-to-one learning with engaging, developmentally appropriate reading practice. Teachers and students both have all the resources they need, all in one place. Great job this week! Your reading's really improved. Start your free 2-week trial today to see how RAS Plus takes students' reading to the next level.